If you think about energetic protection, the way that almost everyone I see who teaches spirituality wants you to think about it, you are always going to be perceiving the things that affect you as things that you need to protect your energy from, instead of what actually gives you energetic empowerment, which is protection. Thinking of them as things that show you places that you are holding energy that is not truly yours to hold. I'm not going to lie to you and say that in this video, I'm going to teach you how to protect your energy, because protecting your energy is a process of actually recognizing where your energy is going and what you engage with and how you give your energy away. And that awareness is something that is only developed through practice and intention. But in this video, I will help you flip some of the beliefs about energetic protection and why it's not something that comes from outside of you. When someone begins to develop their intuition, which is a practice of starting to recognize, what are you doing with your energy? Where are you giving it away? How are you better able to hold it for yourself and be more intentional with how you share your energy with the world and what you give your energy to? There's often this period that people will go through where they start to recognize things are affecting them. They start to recognize the impact of external things on their energy field. And there is this temptation to blame those things for taking a toll on your energy. This is step one of becoming energetically aware. If you stay stuck in this step where you're starting to recognize the impact of external things on your energy field, there will be this temptation to blame things outside of you for what is in reality just a mirror that's showing you where you can reclaim your energy. So once we move past this idea that external things have the ability to change our energy, which they do. I'm not saying that they don't. But just like with setting boundaries, you can't set a boundary expecting someone else to change their behavior. You have to set a boundary that reflects how you are going to respond in certain circumstances. You have to set boundaries from a place of taking full accountability and responsibility for your energy. Psychically, this is the same thing. Once you start to recognize the impact of something on your energy field, it's not a question of trying to change the person or the situation that's affecting you. It's a question of, can you claim your energy and find more alignment in how you're using it? And people don't want to hear this. People really struggle with this because, let me tell you why. You're a healer. If you struggle with the idea that once you recognize something takes a toll on your energy, and instead of recognizing that toll and honoring the truth that it's showing you within yourself, you want to focus on the thing outside of you and change that thing, make it better, make it more aligned so that it doesn't impact your energy as, I don't want to say negatively, but as deeply. You are trying to heal that which is outside of you. The invitation that lies in the mirror of having that reflected back to you, wow, this really affects me, is that you get to heal yourself by choosing to show up differently with your energy, whether that is maybe not giving as much energy to the thing that affects you, or in some circumstances, it is pulling your energy completely out of these things that are draining you. So there's a couple ways that you can go through this process of learning to recognize where your energy is going, how it's being affected. Really, I think the kind of image that is the clearest for me in this concept is, can you be the steward of your energy? You are a spirit who created a body to exist within. And at a certain point in your life, you probably didn't have the ability to really be the steward of that spirit in your body, right? You had other people taking care of you, whether that was parents or another form of a caretaker. You had someone else who stood in that authority role. So stepping into a place where you truly get to live as someone who has protected energy, right, is stepping into a place where you become the authority of your life. So there's that layer where you have to kind of decondition believing that someone or something else has your answers. And then at the same time, you're often going through this process of, as you become that authority, recognizing the toll that different things take on your energy and starting to step into that role of being the aligned steward of what is truly in resonance for you. At first, you might just start to recognize the way you feel in certain circumstances. Wow, I feel really energized in this environment. Wow, I feel really drained in this environment. In the beginning of this process, it does not necessarily, it's not a one size fits all. So it doesn't mean that being drained by a particular environment is an environment that you can no longer be a part of. Being drained by a certain person, it may not mean that that person is bad for you. It may mean that you're being shown a reflection of what is not in alignment in your energy field. And so, as we go through this process, you have to learn how to let your energy move and flow. So many of us have been conditioned to kind of have the tone of how our energy moves set by the world outside of us. But in order to truly do this work, to take this step into being that authority of your life, into being the one who is the champion and the steward of your own energy, you will have to learn how to be the one who gets your energy moving in a way that feels good for you. Because once your energy is moving, then you can start to release these things that are being mirrored to you by your external environment, by the way you feel around particular people. And the more clear your energy field becomes, meaning the more you release all the things that are not actually here with you in the present moment, the more clear that message of how you feel in certain places or with certain people is. You can't begin this process of really embodied energetic protection and just expect that your filter is going to be completely clear when you start to address your energetic protection in this way, meaning in the way where energetic protection is just the process of becoming aware of your own energy, becoming that steward, becoming that authority. Your filter is going to be really muddy. So you're going to go through the process as you do this work of kind of clearing out all that old information. And the more that you do that, the more that your ability to be that steward is really going to be in present time with the way that you feel. Sometimes the way that we feel is an activation of something that's not actually here with us right here and now. And it is really important to be able to tell the difference between something that's activated in a past time vibration versus something that is clear right here in the moment. There are many ways to develop a practice of getting into a flow of your own energy, meaning being in a state where when you are activated in something, you have the ability to move it through instead of staying stuck in it. This could be through a movement practice, it could be through a breathwork practice, or my favorite, psychic meditation. In psychic meditation, you learn to place yourself in the center of your energy field. So for this video, I want you to kind of imagine that. I want you to just take a moment, hold the idea, or just imagine, pretend even. Your imagination is so powerful. Imagine or pretend that you can place yourself right in the center of your energy field. And what may happen when you imagine that or pretend that you can do that is you start to recognize how much there is in between you and really being at the center of your energy field. So you might start to think about your day. You might start to think about a problem that you've been navigating. You might start to think about someone else. These are all the things that you're going to move out as you develop a practice of getting into the ability to move energy through so that you have enough space to be the one in the center of your energy field. When you're in the center of your energy field, you have a lot more room and permission to really recognize in real time, what is this discomfort mirroring to me? Is it something that is here in the present moment? Is it something that's showing me something about what's happening right now that I need to use as information to change my boundaries, to remove myself, or to set a different boundary in this experience? Or is this something that's old? Is this bringing up a past time memory? When you start to relate to your energetic protection in this way, you don't necessarily need to spend a lot of time and energy doing things like shadow work or trying to heal, right? Focusing on healing. When you develop a practice of being someone who can be in the center of your energy field, who can tap into the movement of your energy. So, step one, getting into the center of your energy field. Beyond that, once you start to just postulate this idea of, okay, I'm going to be in the center of my energy field. Wow, look at all these different things that are here with me. Last week's problems, my grocery list, my best friend, whatever, my mom, whatever's here in the center of your energy field with you. Once you start to notice that, then you're going to want to start to develop a practice of energy movement through breath work, through going for a walk. That moves your energy through, right? Through meditation, through movement. These are all great ways to start to move your energy. Qigong practices are an amazing way to start to move your energy through. And you will often, once you play with this enough, you will often kind of feel or sense that experience of energy movement by, I almost want to describe it as by feeling alive in your body. So you may have experienced this in certain bursts and um, maybe practices like breath work or meditation. There may be things that you've already had this experience in where you have felt your energy moving. That's what we want to create consistently so that when your energy stops moving, you can recognize that. And you can realize that as a moment that it's time to maybe step up as that authority or as that steward of your energy field and recognize, oh, something in the environment or in the exchange that I'm having is causing me to stop having access to my own energy. Then you can really start to kind of draw a map or see these patterns of what asks you to place your awareness outside of yourself, which is often, we often experience that as losing access to this movement of energy through our space. So, what's really cool about this, as you start to develop a practice and an awareness of energetic protection, again, I'm using air quotes around energetic protection because you don't need to protect your energy when you're full of your own energy. So that's really what we're talking about here. How do you become full of your own energy so that there's nothing to protect yourself from? You don't have to protect you from you, right? So even the idea that you need to protect yourself from something is an indication that you are letting energy that's not really meant to exist in your energy field in. Once you start to make this shift in how you think about the need to protect your energy field, and then once you start to, maybe a good practice would be start your day with placing yourself at the center of your energy field. What do you need to say hello to? What's there with you? Get into, once you place yourself at the center of your energy field, get into a practice that allows you to start to access that felt sense of energy movement, whether that is literal movement, whether that is breath work, whether that is psychic meditation. Again, these are my favorites. Whatever works for you. Develop that practice of noticing your energy flowing through your body so that when it stops, you can evaluate that. And then you might want to have like a bookend on the end of your day, right? Where you again kind of witness, was I able to sense my energy today? Was I able to be aware of myself? If you're not aware of yourself, you are going to feel like you need to protect your energy because you're letting a bunch of information that's not you, not your problem, not yours to manage in. And you're probably a healer, again, just to reiterate that fact. You're letting it in because you want to fix it, you want to change it, you want to make it better. That is being a healer. But the saying, healer, heal thyself, is so potent if you are someone who resonates with this video because you can only create healing vibrationally at a level that you have given to yourself the permission to heal. So, as much as you may want to heal the things that you see outside of you that cause you to react, that feel like a problem, you're just going to get stuck in that energy. if you're trying to heal through that lens. What actually creates healing is you having permission to have access to your energy, because often you having access to your energy raises the vibration of a space so much more than trying to be positive or than, trying to uplift everyone around you. That is limited in the way that it can raise the vibration. Sometimes the most elevated vibration in a space is grief, if that's what's authentic. So don't get stuck in these toxic spiritual beliefs, for lack of a better word. Don't get stuck in those toxic spiritual beliefs that make you feel like if you're struggling, you are um, low vibration. That's not real. The highest vibration is your energy centered in your body, with you having permission to recognize when you lose access to that. The more that you can be full of yourself and your own energy, the more that you inspire that in the people around you. And that creates creativity, that creates expansion, that creates permission, that creates inspiration, that creates new universes. And that is so what we need right now. So put yourself in the center of your experience. Develop a practice for getting your energy running. If you need help with that, hi, I'm Olivia Rae. That's what I do for a living. I teach people to get into the center of their own universe and learn who they are. This is something that I haven't said yet. In this work, if you start to do it, center yourself, develop a practice of letting your energy move and recognizing when it's no longer moving. You're going to learn who you are. And when we learn who we are, we start to build lives that we actually want to be a part of. We become humans who are in our bodies, connected to our experiences, even when they get hard. Even when things are painful, pain is not a problem. Pain is not something that we have to avoid. Most often, the pain that we avoid is pain that's not actually ours to process. Protecting your energy is, I believe, a sort of error in thinking about how our energy fields work. Because when you're aware of where your energy is going, what it's doing, having it centered in your experience, having your energy in the center of who you are, centering your energy. We talk so much about decentering things, decolonizing things, and those are all great concepts. Don't get me wrong, but at the core of that work is clearing out everything that's not truly you. Because when you do decolonization work, when you decenter things that have not served you, what happens is you become full of your own truths. You become full of the things that actually resonate for you. And when you do that work, you become someone who is no longer being pushed by the energy of the world outside of you. And it doesn't mean that you don't react or respond to the world outside of you at times, but you know how to re-find your center. And when you spend enough time in that center, this is from personal experience, what you often will find is that there's a lot of hope in this world. There's a lot of potential in this world. There is deep enjoyment and faith in just being able to be full of your own energy. And when you build from that foundation, you end up being in a life that you actually want to experience, that you actually want to be a part of. You become someone who can say no when you need to say no without it being something that is hurtful to anyone else. It's just your truth, and you don't have to manage what happens for other people when you exist in your truth. You become someone who holds an anchor of what is possible in the world, and we need those people right now. So if you feel inspired by this video, please start putting yourself at the center of your life. Become the center of your universe. Connect with other people who hold this as a value. If you want to do this work in community, which I highly, highly recommend, because it's revolutionary to put yourself at the center of your universe. There's a lot that's going to resist that, the ability to do that. And so when you do it in a space that is held for you, which is what I do, I hold spaces for sensitive people to go on the journey of learning to prioritize their own energy in their lives, of learning to be the one who is that authority of how you care for your energy and what you give your energy to, and why it gets drained, the different past lives and family agreements and all these dimensions of what kind of cause us to subconsciously or automatically give our energy away. That's a very real part of this. And so it is something that is very helpful to do in community, to do under the guidance of mentors who know how to help you on this journey. If you've watched this far, I do have a free breathwork journey on October 17th. It's a Friday evening, and I'm going to have a workshop on updating your soul agreements at the end of October. So definitely make sure you subscribe to my channel and follow along if you want more details on that. I will be dropping them soon. Thank you so much for watching.